Yo, what's going on? This is Mike, and I am the Sports Dope. You can find me on Twitter at that Sports Dope, and I'm on Instagram with the same name. If you found this on iTunes or wherever, or you happen to find it on YouTube and you wanted to switch it up, maybe you wanted to look at my stupid face, or take it on the go, in iTunes, then you can go to mindsofmike.com/thesportsdope. It's an absolutely shitty website that I threw together haphazardly just in order to get an RSS feed so that I could put this shit out there to the 4 people that download it every week. And, there it is. So go there, check it out. I am going to spruce it up a little bit soon, hopefully over this holiday weekend when I have a little bit of time. I do have a wedding. It's out of townish too, so it's just going to be a mess. Just what everybody wants to do after eating 3 times more than they should is squeeze into a suit. But I'm going to go do that, and I'm going to have a blast at my boy's wedding, but that's neither here nor there. So like I said, going to spruce up the website maybe this weekend, maybe not, all depends. And I'm going to do that with some artwork that my good friend Andrea Fowler did for me, and you can find her if you like that artwork, or if you're in need of some sort of graphic design or web design, stuff like that. Go to her website. It's AndreaFowlerDesign.com, and Fowler is spelled Fowler. If you go to Instagram, it's the same thing, Andrea Fowler Design, and you can check out her stuff there. So, let's talk about some football. Let's talk about last week as we do. Quick recap. It was profitable. If you only listen to the podcast or on YouTube and you don't follow on Twitter, you missed it, but I hedged out of the teaser last week. I pulled the ripcord on Monday night, and I figured that I went, I was up money on the weekend, so I figured I would just, because the teaser had like 100 for 170, so I just, bet about 130. So I wanted to stay profitable. And it was a good fucking move because the Ravens smoked the Rams. Looking back on it, I don't know what I was thinking. The Rams look horrible. Oh my God. What a goddamn embarrassment that must have been. In their own stadium, in front of their fans, a fan base they're trying to grow. Man, that was a loss that set him back quite a bit, I feel. Just a drubbing in public like that. That is disgusting. But yeah, let's run through the entire slate of games last week, touch on what we bet on, what we didn't, and how I was feeling about each game. First game last week, that was a Thursday night game. Indy went to Houston. I had Indy plus 3.5. That was the exact right number to get Indy at because Houston won by 3. I kind of thought they would show up a little bit better there. Houston kind of held them down most of the game. It was real close, but I never really, I don't know. I was hoping Indy would, take the lead at some point, but they just never really got there. I don't know. Wasn't feeling it. They kept tying it, and then Houston would just come back with like another field goal or some shit. But yeah, so we won that one. Solid. Boom. Next game of the week, we had Tampa Bay going to Atlanta. We leaned Atlanta, but not leaned as in we bet on it, but we just were like, hey, Atlanta, that's what we do. Gun to our head. That was the wrong move, so good thing we didn't bet on that. I was trying to take a break from Tampa Bay. I thought, hey, I don't know, maybe Atlanta just blew their fucking load. The 2 games where they just blew a team out, and they were like, that's really all we got in us. We can't even do it no more. Can't even do it in front of the hometown crowd. Both those games were on the road. Should be interesting this Thursday. See what they got this week. Which fucking team's going to show up. Next game we had on the slate, we had the Giants. We were about to bet on the Giants, but we decided against it. Turns out would have been the right move. I just wasn't comfortable in my own handicapping of the Giants. And to be fair, I was right. Because, I thought it was going to be, -2, -3. And that's where the game ended up, pretty much. So the +6 would have won. So, next up, we had Cincinnati. We had them at 6.5. Pittsburgh won by 6, but we didn't bet it. So we had Carolina at New Orleans. We took New Orleans. We would have lost that one. Man, Carolina showed up big. Where the fuck were they last week? I mean, fuck. That's ridiculous. I can't believe that how much better they look. And in the fucking DraftKings shit, the daily fantasy show we're going to do later tonight because, it is Tuesday. I'm trying to bang this shit out on the holiday week, trying to get both of them out. But, man, did I pick the wrong week with DJ and Kyle Allen. Fuck. Yeah, that was annoying. So I picked them the week before. My DFS lineup didn't do shit. This week, DJ was like 2 touchdowns. Unbelievable. But anyway, Carolina showed up big time in this one. They covered, should have probably won the game. I don't know, probably would have been tied. Like, everybody was like, oh, they should have won the game with that field goal. No, there's 2 minutes left. And New Orleans drove down anyway. So it would have been tied. It would have went to overtime. And then who knows what the fuck would have happened from there. So those people like, oh my God, they would have won. No, they wouldn't have won. They would have went to overtime. And then who the fuck knows? So don't say that shit. It's stupid. Makes you look dumb. Next up on the slate, called it. Sucker bet. Oakland was playing the Jets after 3 kind of tight wins at home. Flew across the country playing the early game. And the Jets were, riding high. They continued to ride high. They fucking dominated. So it was right on the sucker bet, right on the Jets. I was out kind of drinking during the day. And on the way home, it was raining. And on the way home, there was a rainbow. I made a nice little Instagram post. The rainbow was landing like at the Meadowlands about the fucking game. It's kind of, silly goose. Follow me out there too, at that sports dope. Next up, we had, we love this one. Seattle going to Philly. This was kind of an ugly game. It was too close for comfort the whole time, but Seattle did pull it out. They didn't look great, but I think they'll fix it this week. We'll talk about that in a little bit. Just a little bit. We'll talk about that. So, Seattle won that one. That was solid for us. Detroit went to Washington. We took Washington. Washington won outright. Good for them. Fuck them, though, because they're Washington. What are they talking about? Dwayne Haskins, he was out there taking selfies with the fans, and he missed the fucking kneel down. Like, what a jerk off. Like, I mean, come on, man. You're absolutely ridiculous. Jacksonville was at Tennessee. Man, Tennessee dominated them. Derrick Henry was just punching dudes in the face and running over them, leaving fucking Nike cleat tire tracks over their throats. It was absolutely ridiculous. I love watching every minute of it. Derrick Henry is a bruiser. He's like the modern-day Marshawn Lynch when you watch him. It is fantastic. And Tennessee looks like a good team. Tannehill looks like a serviceable quarterback. Vrabel looks like a good coach. I mean, I don't know. They got a pretty big game this weekend, so let's see what this team can put together. Very interested to watch it. But let's see, Jacksonville, Tennessee. We said Jacksonville, but I think Jacksonville's done for the year. I think they've kind of given up. Derrick Henry punched every single player on the defense in the face. He stiff-armed everybody. It was ridiculous. He looked like E. Honda from Street Fighter when he was doing that slap move, and it was just like, yeah. Too many hands. He just hit everybody in the fucking defense at once. He had a hand for everybody. It was unbelievable. Not just a hand, but like a giant fucking jacked, arm, because he's a monster and his arms are probably the size of my legs, and he's just knocking people down with those arms all the time. If you're not watching on YouTube, I am making too many fucking motions right now. So yeah, Jacksonville lost that one. Fuck them. We had Dallas going to New England. We said Dallas was the dog. They played a shitty game. Yeah, both of those teams looked fucking bad. Dallas had opportunities, but phantom tripping calls on their offensive line somehow did not, phantom tripping calls. That's all I can really say. Phantom tripping calls. But, to be fair, Dallas did not deserve to win this game. But it would have been nice if they did, because my half a unit would have turned into 2.5 or 1 and change. Yeah, 1 and a quarter. But still, didn't work out for us. They did cover, though, so that's something, saying something. I gotta take a sip of water before I fucking talk about this one. Fuck. Green Bay got the shit beat out of them. Man, was that ugly. So, and they got the shit beat out of them in such a fashion that the other team scored a ton of points, and they held them down so hard that the over didn't even hit. Like, San Fran was in the 30s, and Green Bay couldn't get past 10. They couldn't get past 10. And I don't know, man. I thought their defense was good. I didn't think it was that good. I figured with Adams back, both of the running backs on Green Bay were doing extremely well. It's ugly. Very ugly, that game. Green Bay never really was in it at all. So I wound up losing the lock of the week. As I said, most of my locks just don't work out. I don't know why. My leans do, but my locks don't. I don't know. The over didn't work out, so this was a case of no lock, no lean. Nothing worked. And full disclosure, Sunday morning, I was like, it would be interesting because I thought all the teams coming off the bye were looking good. And so I was like, let me do a 4-team teaser with all the teams coming off a bye. And Green Bay was the only group of sons of bitches that didn't fucking help out. I should have at least hedged that one, man. But I didn't because I'm a fucking idiot. But whatever. It's fun. And I was still, up for the week. And that's what matters. Last thing to talk about was the teaser. As I mentioned when we started talking about the recap here, Denver at Buffalo. We took Buffalo, teased it down to +2. I don't know why Denver was so close to them in that one. But that one cashed easily. Cleveland, same thing. Miami, we teased that one down to 4.5. Really no rhyme or reason for that one. No huge key numbers except 7. Nothing strategic. Just fucking 10.5 was too many, and 4.5 was more reasonable for that. But 10.5 would have cashed anyway. And then last week on the podcast, we said it was going to be the Rams +10. And good thing that I hedged the fuck out of that one. So, there we are. That was week 12 at a glance. Rapid fire recap. This week coming up, no more buys. We're done with buys. It's also Thanksgiving week. So that's a fucking great day for football. And I'm going to be in a house with people that don't really watch it. So I'm going to be like the lone fucking person drinking and watching football. So hopefully everybody's ready to deal with me. I'll probably be tweeting though. So let's start off with Thanksgiving, right? And what I'm going to do, because I'm a little nervous about some of these guys, I'm just going to do Thursday teasers. 3-team teaser, all Thanksgiving. Here we go. I did this yesterday, so some of the numbers already changed a little bit. So let's talk about the Chicago game. Chicago's going to Detroit, open up Thanksgiving. They're starting at noon, I think. Noon or 1. I think it's noon, actually, because I think they start that a little bit earlier. Detroit's just a fucking mess. The Driscoll, I picked him. We'll talk about that at the next podcast. But Driscoll looks like he's hurt too, so it looks like they're down to third string. Some of the defensive line is banged up. Look, I don't like Chicago, but I think this is a game where Detroit just fucking completely lays an egg. Just completely lets it go. Bag over the head bad. Like some of those embarrassing Detroit games from the 90s in Thanksgiving. But so the game, I thought it was going to be Chicago -2. Somehow it opened up Detroit -1.5. Got bet all the way up to 3. When I teased it, it was 2.5. So I actually had the Bears +3.5. I'll still take the Bears +3. Yeah, I think the Bears cover the 3, but just to be safe, because it is the Bears, and just because they looked slightly, you know what I'm saying, just because they looked slightly decent against the Giants. I don't trust them that much, so I do want to tease it still. I love my 3.5. I would still take 3 for sure. We got Buffalo going to Dallas. Look, I know people are like, oh, Buffalo's got a great record. But yeah, I don't care. I'm over it. Doesn't matter to me. They've beaten teams that are just trash. They're not beating anybody worth noting. And when they do play those teams, they don't look good. They don't look good. So they've beaten the Jets, the Giants, the Bengals, the Titans when they had Mariota, the Dolphins, the Redskins, the Dolphins, and the Broncos. None of those teams are any good. Look, Dallas, they played an ugly game. The coaching staff got called out by the owner after the game. If you don't think that coaching staff, like when I get yelled at by my boss, I am fucking nosing the book, not making a mistake, getting that shit right for at least, the next 2 weeks, 3 weeks, depending on what my track record was, if I got caught with 2 in a row, like I got to really keep on my game for a while. But you know what I'm saying? For a while. This is the next game. So, I think Dallas, I don't know why, but the number came down. Dallas is at home on Thanksgiving. They don't want to be embarrassed on Thanksgiving. Jerry Jones doesn't want to be embarrassed on Thanksgiving. They just got embarrassed. They played like the 4 o'clock game, but there was only one other game on, and it was shitty from the get-go. And so they were really the only game on TV at 4 o'clock, and they looked bad. But they're a good team. They got good players. So what they got to do, they got to come back. They're going to be in their dome, and they're going to be playing a team that, it's got a good defense, but they should be able to at least put up 21, right? 20 at least. And I think that they could stop the Bills' offense because the Bills' offense is not fantastic. Singletary's been playing, Singletary's been playing well since he's taken over for Frank Gore. Frank Gore's still fucking chugging along like a boss. But yeah, no. I still like Dallas. Give me Dallas. I'm going to tease it down, like I said, -0.5 because it's at 6.5 right now. And that's what we're going with. So far we got Chicago +3.5, Dallas -0.5. And, of course, we're going to go with New Orleans. And, of course, I'm going to say the word revenge when I talk about them because it's a thing, right? Atlanta just beat the shit out of them in their own house. And, New Orleans is going to want to beat the shit out of Atlanta in their own house. Like, it's tit for tat. That's the way that shit goes. And Atlanta's played horrible at home. They just went out and dominated 2 teams on the road, came home, got smoked. What the fuck? How does that happen? Anyway, how does it happen? But, again, New Orleans hasn't looked super great. Carolina kept it close at their home. A couple weeks ago, they did lose to this team. So it does make me a little bit nervous. So that's why I'm going to tease this one, too. Tease it down. So, I think Kamara's going to have a big game. I think Noodle Arm Drew Brees is going to hit Michael Thomas 14 times for under 10 yards each. And the defense is going to play well. Not well, but decent. Decent enough. And I just think that the coaching mismatch is there. But, again, the Saints haven't looked great these last couple of weeks. Haven't looked great. So that's why I'm going to tease that shit down. So here's our Thanksgiving teaser. We got Bears +3.5. Dallas -0.5. And the Saints -0.5 because that one dropped down to 6.5 also. So that's what going on Thanksgiving. Follow me on Twitter. And you'll see me tweet out some hatred for these teams as they're playing. And also, what next bets I'm going to make if one of these fucking falls. And one of these teams don't pull through for your boy. All right. Let's move on to Sunday. Like we typically do when we are talking. There's not too much that I like this week, to be completely honest. I've only made 3 straight bets. I have a dog pick because I'm contractually obligated based on the piece of paper I signed when I said, hey, I'm going to do a dumb podcast for 8 people. That says I'm going to pick a dog every week, but I'm not betting on this dog. And I got a regular teaser. So let's run through the games that we are not betting on. First one on that list is Philly going to Miami. When this game came out, I thought it was going to be -7.5 for Philly. Opened at 7.5. Got bet all the way up to 9.5, 10. If I had to pick, I'm going Miami because Philly has looked bad. They have looked bad, but I don't trust it. Fitzmagic, after he has those couple of, 3 or 4 great games after coming in, he starts diving into the end zone for touchdowns. Everybody fucking loves him. He's got that crazy-ass beard. You don't know where his chin strap is. It's fucking ridiculous. It's all hidden in there. It's like a jungle. After that wears off, he falls apart. I don't know when he falls apart. Might be here. He hasn't, So, let's see. I'm staying away from it. Slightly interested. But I'm staying away from it. Next game, no bet. Cleveland's going back to Pittsburgh for the heavyweight matchup that everybody's waiting for. When it came out, I thought it was going to be Cleveland -1.5. It was Pittsburgh -3. Now it's Cleveland -2.5. That shit flipped all the way over. And they named Delvin Hodges the starter. So who knows what the fuck that means. That could be bad, could be good. I don't know. I'm staying away. Pittsburgh has a ton of injuries. Cleveland looks pretty hot. But again, there is all sorts of crazy shit that could go on in a game like this. Who fucking knows? There could be fights in the stand that boil over onto the field for all I know. There could be, I guarantee you, we're going to see sick Instagram videos of just brawls in the parking lot of the Pittsburgh Stadium at Three Rivers or whatever the fuck it's called, of people from Cleveland just looking for fights. Just all sorts. There's going to be all sorts of foul language. It's going to be ridiculous. I bet somebody gets hit with a chair. I bet it's going to be like a WWE thing. You know, I got to make a reminder to fucking check Instagram for fight videos or Reddit or wherever for fight videos on Sunday for Cleveland-Pittsburgh. Let's see. Next game that we are not betting on. We got Tampa Bay, the Bucks. They're going to Jacksonville. Yeah, when this game opened, I thought it was going to be a pick. It opened at 4.5 for Jacksonville. 4.5. Yo, they have not looked good. They haven't. They haven't won a game since Foles came back. They haven't won a game that Foles has played in this year. Bring in Minshew. And yeah, I think the season is kind of slipping away from Jacksonville. Tampa Bay, I think they have like they're still like kids. Like they don't realize it's over yet. And Bruce Arians is still like a fucking kid who's got no quit in him. And he's going to try and squeeze and get every little drop. But I think like Jacksonville has the ability to just sulk it out for the rest of the year. Certainly a possibility. But also, Jameis could throw four interceptions. You know, AJ Boye could be like, yo, I was on that video getting snuffed by Derrick Henry. You know, I need to have a pick six to redeem myself. I don't know. So what I do know is I'm going to stay away. I'm going to be interested to watch it. I got some players that I like in both of these games, but I'm going to be interested to check it out. Let's see. Next game that we are not betting on. Yeah, we've got the Rams. Woof. We've got the Rams. They are going out to Arizona, where I thought they would be a 3-point favorite. They opened up at 3.5, and they're down to 3. I am worried about the Rams. I think that this is going to be a tough game for them. I worry about what kind of fight they have left in them after a fucking beating like that. Oh, my God. Either they're going to come out like they know they're third in the division. They know they have no shot at that. There are a lot of wild card. There are only 2 wild card teams for the NFC that are like really, really even in it. Like it's almost all. I don't want to say it's set in the NFC. Let me take a look at this real quick. But I don't want to say it's set in the NFC, but it's definitely a lot harder in the NFC if you're trying to squeak in than it is in the AFC. Because the NFC, there's basically all the division leaders, and then there's a team with 8 wins, which is the Vikings, and the Seahawks have 9 wins. The next closest is the Rams with 6. So there's 5 games left, and they're 3 games out. Shit's not happening. So they might just completely quit. Certainly possible. You know, because that first game, after you realize you're completely fucking out of it, that's a hard one to show up for work for, I would imagine. Obviously, I don't know. But I would imagine that's a hard one to show up for work for. So, yeah, I'm staying away from this one. I might actually like Arizona, talking myself into it a little bit. But they could also react like fucking the Super Bowl team that was last year. So, no, I'm staying away. Stop that. See? I almost caught myself. Almost talked myself into it. Next game we got the Chargers. They're going to Denver. When this came out, I thought it was going to be Denver -1.5. Opened at Denver -1.5. Now it's the Chargers -2.5. Yeah, I guess people still believe in the Chargers. I don't know. Phillip Rivers, he just won't let himself quit. Like the Bible says, never quit. So I think that's his motto also. I don't know. Even though, guess what? Time to quit. Time to quit on the season. Maybe the career. Phil, it's been a rough year for you, kid. I don't know what's going to go on in this game. I'm just completely staying away. Looks like a complete trash heap. So nothing going on there. So those are the games that I'm not betting on. Let's talk about some of the games we're going to wager on. And like I said, I don't like too much this week. I was actually hard pressed to find a teaser, but after digging around and watching the numbers a little bit, I found some stuff I'm kind of interested in. So here's what we're gonna start with. I'm gonna start with the leans. First lean, and look, I know last week I talked myself out of a Giants bet that would have won because I don't want to bet on the Giants because they're my team and I read them wrong, and I should have bet on them last week because I was right. This week, I'm not betting on them, my bet is not based on them either. Well, it is a little bit, but not like their play. It's more like, just facts. But like, I'll explain. So this is more a bet about Green Bay. Green Bay is a lot better team than we saw the other night. And Aaron Rodgers is going to be pissed at that fucking showing. And he's going to want to take that shit out on somebody. And the Giants are in his path. And the Giants had a couple of, significant injuries. I think Golden Tate's going to be in the concussion protocol. And either that or he heard something else. I know he's going to, it sounds like he's going to be out this week, Golden Tate. But the big thing, Jabril Peppers, like the one good player, the one redeemable player in the entire secondary, he's out also. So yeah, I think it's going to be an ugly game for the Giants this week, and I think Green Bay wants to just beat something up, and the Giants are in the way, and the line is 6.5. Which, look, it started at 7.5. I thought it was going to be 7, opened at 7.5, got bet down to 6.5. I don't know. I feel like some fucking market maker just made his own market there and thinks it's going to be 7. So you know what I'm doing? Jumping to the 6.5. Give me the 6.5. Next game that we are leaning on. Look, we just watched them get the doors blown off themselves at the Jets, and that's Oakland. Look, Kansas City, they need a get-right game. They're coming off the bye. I think they're just going to go nuts in this one. And I think Oakland was riding high, and then they got kicked in the fucking balls, and now they're going to be, oh, yeah, that's right, we're the fucking Raiders. We're not really that good. We don't have that many players. We won a couple of close games that could have gone either way. That's basically like winning a bunch of coin flips in a row. Yeah, you could win 4 in a row, but guess what's probably going to happen? You're going to lose the next 3. And I think that's the stretch the Raiders are in now, and I think KC is poised to put up some big points. Tyreek Hill probably going to play, rested up over the bye week. Mahomes had a chance to rest up. I know he's definitely not 100% after his fucking kneecap was on backwards. And so hopefully they're closer to 100% now than they were 2 weeks ago when they were struggling a little bit. But I like KC to, put on a real dominant performance in this one at home. So the lock of the week. Well, first we'll talk about the game. But I'm not betting on the game. I'm betting on the total. And that's the Monday night game. We got Minnesota at Seattle. Look, I like Seattle. I like them a lot. They didn't look great at Philly. But I think that might have just been travel. And, just maybe a look-ahead spot to, Minnesota coming to town. Solid opponent. Somebody they got to actually worry about in the wild card matchup. Like, these are the 2 wild card teams right now. And, Seattle also knows that they got to keep pace with the Niners, and the Niners looked amazing. So I'm not betting on the game itself. But given that Cousins actually looked good in a primetime game 3 weeks ago, given that Seattle's offense is very, very good, 3 dominant receivers, 2 interchangeable running backs. Last week I would have said 1 dominant running back, but I guess now fucking Rashad Penny's just going to get like 10 carries a game, and who knows if he's going to break one, because he can. But yeah, I like Seattle to put up points, and I like Minnesota to put up points. I think both of them can put up points. I think Minnesota's secondary is kind of overrated. And I think Seattle's defense as a whole is not very good, and it's a little bit banged up with Clowney being probably their best player. Well, Wagner, yeah, but you know what I'm saying. But either way, I think points are going to be – I think this game could be almost hit that over in the first half maybe. They could be really like putting up points in this one. Between Dalvin Cook, I think Thielen will be back. Yeah. If Cousins didn't look so good like 3 weeks ago when they played Dallas, I would probably just stay away from this game completely. But maybe he learned how to alter his routine, his habit of game day, and he's fixed it. Who knows? But I like the over. Let's get the over. Over 49. Lock it up. So the lock is Minnesota, Seattle over. The leans are Green Bay minus 6.5, KC minus 9.5. That's it. Those are my locks and leans for the week. I only really like those three. Let's talk about the sucker bet of the week. We loved them last week. And they came through for us, so it hurts when I look at this. And I say it's going to be the Jets. The Jets, that number's going to go up too. You watch. It's 3.5 now. I think it's going to hit 4. I thought it was going to be Jets minus 2. It opened at 3.5. I think it's going to hit 4. Might even go a little bit above. I'm telling you why. I read Andy Dalton is going to play. If Andy Dalton plays, he's going to want to prove that, they benched him wrongly. He's got 2 decent receivers now with Tate and Boyd. And the defense has played decently here and there. So I think the Jets are a team that could be out riding high a little bit. Like I talked about this in the past, smelling their own farts. And so I think if you start laying money with the Jets on the road, that's a sucker move. It is. I don't like it. So New York Jets, sucker bet of the week. Stay away from that shit. So, San Francisco at Baltimore. Baltimore just fucking kicked the teeth of the Rams in. I talked about it when we talked about the Rams, but oh my God, they looked amazing. If Mark Andrews could catch, it would have been even worse. But old Stonehands fucking nope, didn't happen. But yeah, Hollywood Brown started off. Ingram was in the end zone. Snead, I think, got in. Oh man, Lamar Jackson, he looks fantastic. It's absolutely ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. So all that being said, San Francisco looked pretty good too. Especially their defense. Their offense was okay. Their defense put them in very good situations, and they were just able to capitalize. I don't know if Baltimore's defense looked good or if the Rams' offense just is not working. And I don't know what the answer to that is. But I will tell you this. If San Fran's defense has all those pieces, those great quick linebackers, and they can contain that run, they can absolutely win this game outright. And I'm not betting on it, but like I said before, contractually obligated to pick a dog. I'm going to go with San Fran plus 180, and that plus is just going to keep going because after Baltimore's performance last night, this number is going to keep going until it hits probably 6.5. I don't think it'll touch the 7. 7's getting ridiculous, but it went from 4.5 to 5.5, and I think it could definitely hit 6. And as the number goes up, then the juice on the money line goes up. And San Fran, it's a whole lot of recency, man. I think if their defense is as good as people want to think it is, or if they want their defense to be considered the top, then they need to perform in this spot. This is the spot you got to come through in. People talking your defense up, you got to come through in this spot. That's it. That's the bottom line. Next up, lastly, we got the teaser. First game, we got Tennessee going to Indy. I talked about Tennessee. They've looked very good recently. Very, very good. Indy has looked kind of rough. But even when Indy was looking good with Brissett, they still don't blow teams out. I'm teasing Tennessee up to 8.5. Right now, it's a 2. I still like it if you tease it up to 8. I got it at 2.5. Give me Tennessee plus 8.5 in the teaser. Next up, we got Washington going to Carolina. This is like the Browns last week. Not getting fancy. I'm not trying to fucking move through key numbers and shit. The only key number I'm going to touch is the 7. But Carolina's at 9.5. I worry that's too much. You tease that down to 3.5, and I love it. So give me Carolina 3.5. Washington is not going to play 2 average games in a row. They won that game because they were average, not because they were good. I couldn't even bring myself to say 2 good games in a row. I couldn't do it. They're not even up to playing 2 average games in a row. They won a game playing average. They won't even be able to play average this week. So give me Carolina minus 3.5. And the last leg of the teaser, give me Houston. New England looked bad. They did not look good. And I don't think it was the weather. I think it was just because, the offense is not good. and the defense can be beaten. We've seen that. I'm teasing Houston, and here's my hope, right? Because I think New England's playing Kansas City next week. Let me double check on that, but I believe that that's the case, and I'll talk while I'm checking. But this is why I'm teasing Houston. This is what I hope happens. I'm teasing them to plus 9.5. I hope New England beats them by 9. I hope New England beats them by 9, so it's a convincing enough victory that they're maybe favored against the Chiefs, and I can get the Chiefs at plus money next week. That's what I'm hoping. That's my goal. That's what I'm hoping for. So yeah, Houston, teasing them up 9.5. Look, Houston's looked okay, like on and off here and there, but and that's why I like them in the tease spot here. Give me a couple extra points, because I think while the New England defense is good, they're good at holding people. I don't really see them rushing the quarterback too much. I don't know if you could hear that. That's some blending going on for pre-Thanksgiving shit. But I don't see they're not dominating the quarterback. Like, they're getting there, but it's not like a fucking pass rush. It's more like a team that just tackles you the minute you get the fucking ball. That's pretty much what it is, or prevents the play from happening. But anyway, whatever the fuck I'm trying to say, I think Houston keeps it close in this one. In Houston, New England not looking the same, and if you can score a couple points on the defense, I think the offense might have a hard time catching up, because who are you throwing that ball deep to? Like, who are they playing catch up with? So Houston needs to get on the board fast and then hold them off, because they're not going to be able to pass the ball, I don't think. They're not. No. So that's it. That's the teaser. The teaser is Tennessee plus 8.5, Houston plus 9.5, Carolina minus 3.5. Once again, the locks and leans. Lock it up. Minnesota, Seattle, over 49. Grab that number now before it moves up more. Green Bay minus 6.5. Kansas City minus 9.5. Sucker bet of the week. Stay away from the Jets. Stay away from the Jets. If you're interested in a dog, and if that San Francisco number gets to maybe 6.5, maybe if I think it's got a chance to get to 7, I will fucking nail that 7. Set an alert on my phone for that shit. But I'm not putting money on it. But if I had to pick a dog, it would be the San Francisco money line, plus 180. I like that. Teaser's going to be Tennessee plus 8.5, Houston plus 9.5, and Carolina minus 3.5. Thanksgiving teaser, don't forget, Bears plus 3.5, Dallas minus 0.5, New Orleans minus 1. Thank you all for checking this shit out. Any of the listening you've done throughout the year, I really appreciate it. Enjoy your Thanksgiving, and peace out. I'm Mike. I'm the Sports Dope. You can find me on Twitter or Instagram at thatsportsdope. My website is mindsofmike.com/thesportsdope. It currently looks like shit, but you'll be able to find little icons that direct you to YouTube or Reddit comments or Apple iTunes. And also, I'm going to spruce that shit up with some work from AndreaFowlerDesign.com. She's a good friend of mine. If you need any design work, you should check that shit out. That's it. Happy Thanksgiving. I'm going to run this shit back for some daily fantasy stuff in about 5 minutes. Peace.